Hello you guys, Sky Swords Alyssa here. Finally, the Q&A video, it's here! It's in your hands, you can listen and watch now. I am so sorry it took me so long to get this out. There's been a lot of stuff with life, behind the scenes, channel milestones being reached. Just, life is crazy right now. So, without further ado, we're just gonna hop right in. We're gonna start with Cody Dooz's question. Dody Coos. He was Cody Doos, now he's Dody Coos. Is there an end game to my career on YouTube? And if so, where would I like it to go? So I'm gonna start with a little bit of like a backstory. I actually bought my capture card back in 2020, but I was living at home with my parents, and I felt like a little embarrassed to be talking and like recording myself with them there, which is kind of like funny because when you're streaming you don't know how many people are going to tune in, who's going to watch it, like whether it's live or after it being live. Like it's literally open to millions of people to tune in at whatever point that they want to. So it's just kind of funny that's like, well, I don't want my parents to hear me. And I mean, I was like 22 back then, so I wasn't like old, but I wasn't super like I was like an adult. I was an adult basically, you know. But I did like record gameplay because I have a capture card. I have like the AverMedia Portable 2 Plus, something like that. I bought it, like I said, in 2020, so I can't remember the exact name. But you're able to put a micro SD card in it and just record gameplay. It doesn't have to be hooked up to anything. It just has to be plugged into whatever console you're getting the footage from. So I actually like did a lot of recording of me playing Age of Calamity. Didn't do anything with it. But by February of 2024, I finally started streaming. At the end of 2023, I was like starting to really consider it again. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna go for it. I didn't really have a schedule at first. It was kind of just whenever I felt like streaming, but then I formed a schedule. It's been like the Tuesday, Thursday, and I used to stream Sundays until I went part-time, went from being part-time at my current job, my main source of income. I went full-time, and then my time has become limited. I only have 2 days off, and I need time to, you know, relax, recoup. I do miss streaming Sunday sometimes, but it honestly just started out as like a for fun thing, and I've been having a lot of fun doing it. But I won't lie, it'd be really cool if I could quit my day job and do this as my full-time job and stream with you guys more and get more content out for you guys. Because it would be really cool to just like get out of the 9 to 5 loop that a lot of people are in, and I know it is really hard, but I'm here. I'm gonna keep pushing. I still have like a lot of other content that I want to make. Like I do eventually, I've considered starting up a podcast at some point. I just don't know when. It's more of just like a time management and energy type thing. When I do have the time, sometimes I don't necessarily have the energy, and I'm like, I need to relax and, you know, take care of my brain. But as far as like where I want it to go, I would love for this to be like my main thing that I do all the time, because I do enjoy hanging out with you guys. It is really fun. I love playing games. Especially giving like indie games the attention that they deserve, because I know like not a lot of people cover indie games or even bother playing them, but there are quite a few good indie gems, which Under the Island, go check it out, especially if you love Zelda. It's a great game. Next question. Also from Dody Coos, what is the function of a rubber duck? So I know this is supposed to be from something, but this is what my definition of the function of a rubber duck is. It's to be collected by Jeep owners and traded amongst them to feel like they're part of something. I'm sorry if you have a Jeep. I'm sorry, that's just a joke. If you guys drive a Jeep and you do that, that's cool. It's fine, but you know, I was just trying to be funny. But another function that could be fun times in the bathtub, you know. Another question from Dody Coos. Marshmallows and cereal. I'm all for it, dude. Love Lucky Charms. I try not to eat like sugary cereal now as an adult, but I still honestly end up getting like shit cereal. But there are a few like healthier ones that I like. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head right now, and I didn't really write anything down, but oh well. I couldn't just eat the marshmallows though. Like in the Lucky Charms, like the little grain cereals they have in there, it's good like back and forth. I couldn't just eat straight marshmallow cereal. That would be gross. Next question. What species should I be in Skyrim? This comes from Northman, aka Time Lord. I'll give 2 answers, because I know one you said should, but I'm gonna give you what I would be as well. I would like to be a Khajiit, even though I know I'd get bullied. And pretty much if you're not a Nord in Skyrim, you're probably gonna get bullied anyway, like, let's be real. But the species I should probably be in Skyrim if I was actually, like, born in that world is most likely a wood elf. I'm really short. I'm only like 5'1", and that may surprise some people. I've had people think that I'm like 5'8", and I'm like, yo, no, I am not that tall. I am a short girl over here. I barely even weigh like 100 pounds. I am tiny. I literally look like I should be in high school still. But I don't like, so with the lore behind the Wood Elves, because I had to like look up some of the lore because I don't really know too much of the deeper cut lore of Skyrim. I wouldn't eat people, even if they are my enemies. I love meat though, so I wouldn't mind being like strictly carnivore, and like I don't necessarily hate veggies, but I'd be totally fine just eating meat. But I wouldn't be one of those people that, what is that, like the Green Pact or something. And if I had to like fight in a war or anything, I probably would go with a bow for like distance, especially because I'm so tiny. I'm like, I literally, like, I'd be too afraid to do like hand-to-hand combat with like a sword, axe, dagger, etc. So I'd probably be real sneaky and like use a bow and like, you know, stealth archer IRL for sure. Another question from Northman, aka Time Lord, is what would my dog say if she could talk? She'd probably say, Mom, I'm bored, let's go do something. It's been so cold here, or like raining or snowing. It's finally starting to warm up a little bit, so we did get out for a few walks, but it's just been real hard, and that could be why part of my energy's been so low, is because I'm not getting that good vitamin D, which, fun fact, about like 10 to 15 minutes of sunshine a day is really good for your mood and your energy. Another thing she'd probably say is, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but she would probably say like, thanks mommy for the really yummy food, because I give her a raw food / lightly cooked diet. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because that's not like what this video is about, but dry kibble is actually really terrible for our pets, and this isn't me shaming anybody either, because I know shit's expensive and we have to do what we have to do, but it's only been around for like 100 years, and before that we were basically giving them human food and scraps anyway. Not saying that you should just give them human food and scraps, like do the research, which I will provide some links in the description for anybody, any pet parents that want to check it out, dive into it. Here's some of the stuff. I follow a few channels that I really like and highly recommend. I will leave them for you, but I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't want to start any kind of war or make anybody feel bad, but I'm just trying to answer the question. So she would probably say, Mommy, I'm bored, let's go fucking do something, and thank you for the yummy food. Next question comes from Legend of Barhash. These next few come from Legend, but I'll probably still mention that. What video game character from any game do I relate to the most? I had to really think on this one. This was one that I was stuck on for a bit, but I'm probably gonna go with Mael from Expedition 33. I don't want to get too spoilery, so I'm not gonna do too deep of a discussion on this, but I feel like I haven't really fit in with certain crowds, or I feel out of place in some. Like, especially with like this training at work, for example, I feel like there's all these like really smart people in there, and I'm not necessarily like dumb, but I'm not like super like honors above and beyond type level. Like, would like to think I'm pretty well educated. And I can use my brain pretty well, but I fall somewhere like in the middle of that, so I feel kind of out of place there. I'm probably just in my head though, honestly. But with the right people, I can be me, I can laugh, make jokes like I do here on the channel with you guys, because you guys are awesome. But just on the outside, to some people, like the average person, I might seem really weird or like not worthy of interacting to. I kind of feel like I'm just here. Like, that's Alyssa. Yeah, cool. So, Mael from Expedition 33. Another question from Legend of Barhash. What is the most influential game that I have ever played? Catelli just wanted me to talk about Expedition 33 because probably Expedition 33. The first few trailers I saw of this game, I was super intrigued. I'm like, what is going on here? This story seems really crazy and wild. I wanted to know. And we get a trailer then for actual gameplay, and we find out it's turn-based. My heart sinks a little bit because I don't like turn-based games. Like, I play Pokemon, but other than that, that's like about it as far as turn-based games go. So I'm not really into them. Not my favorite type of game style. I really like action adventure, like going in, getting up in people's faces. I don't like just pushing a button, sitting around waiting, but that's changed since I played Expedition 33. I really enjoyed it. The combat system was super fun and engaging. You weren't just sitting there. You had to parry and pay attention to enemy attacks, listen, and it's gotten me to try a few other turn-based games. Like, I've been dabbling with Octopath Traveler 0 just a little bit. Monster Hunter Stories 2, I've been playing that a little bit too. That's been pretty fun. It's been a little, like, a lot of games do get a little samey, and that's kind of how I felt, but I'm not very far in it. I'm only in, like, the second area, I think, and I just feel like I keep going in monster dens, getting the eggs and leaving, and, like, it's just getting a little repetitive for me, but I am still, like, enjoying it a little bit, like, the rock, paper, scissors mechanic of that one, but that's not the most influential game I played. The most influential game I played was Clear Obscure Expedition 33, because it got me into trying out some of these other games, and also, if you haven't played it, I think you should totally give it a try. It definitely deserves all of the hype, and to be honest, anybody that's hating on the game probably didn't play it, but if you are hating on the game, and you played it and you didn't like it, that's totally fine too. Like, your criticisms are totally valid, like, your opinions are your own. So I'm not, like, hating on those people, but a lot of the people that are like, this game is overrated, I just feel like they haven't played it, because if you played it, you would know. Like, the gameplay, environments, music, story, all incredible. Not to mention the live motion capture of voice acting, and the voice acting. So good. Phenomenal job by Sandfall. That team, you can really tell they all work together, and this was a huge passion project for them, and I love seeing that in games. It's nice to see people actually care about the games they're making, and that they're gamers themselves too, so they actually, like, know what people like and want. And they've had some updates too. They hear people's minor complaints, or like, hey, maybe you should add this. Like, when you would die, there was no retry option. You just got loaded back a little bit. It wasn't, like, super far back. You were still, like, right outside the fight. But they added in a retry option, so you didn't have to deal with, like, loading times of going back and then having to go find the fight again. You could literally just go, boom, right back into the fight. So, Expedition 33. Another question from Legend of Barhash. What is one game you are looking forward to streaming in the future? This is why I said he just wants me to talk about Expedition 33, because Expedition 33. But that's an obvious one. We're waiting for the Switch 2 port. It's just a matter of when, not if, because I fully believe it's coming. They want to bring it over. They just might be having a little bit of difficulties, because I know Unreal Engine has some issues with porting to the Switch 2. So they might just be running into some minor issues, but hopefully next General Direct, whenever the hell we get it, we see that game, because that would be awesome, and you better believe I'll probably lose my voice that day. But I'm gonna give a different answer aside from that, because I feel like most people know that that's the game I'm really hyped to stream eventually. I know a lot of you would love to see me stream the new Zelda game, and originally I wasn't planning to really do anything with it, because Zelda's very special to me, and while I love you guys, I like to be alone. I like to get intimate with my Zelda games for the first time through. But for Echoes of Wisdom, I did an impressions video, so I considered maybe doing that, sitting at my desk and recording it, but I also have a 70-inch TV out in my living room, so I also want to play the new Zelda game on the great big 70-inch TV. However, I am considering doing, like, maybe pre-recorded sessions of me playing, like, major parts in the game, or doing, like, members only live streams. Or if I do, like, gameplay, I would probably do members only early access, and then, like, put it out to everybody else. So I am considering that, because I think it would be really cool to, like, see how I react to things, like, for the first time. I don't think I would do, like, the entire game, like, streaming it to all of you guys, but if anything crazy happens, I do want to try to be more proactive and, like, get, like, my feelings recorded, or maybe, like, after, just sit down and, like, have a discussion video, like, holy shit guys, I just found, like, this item in this dungeon because they brought this shit back, and there's this enemy here. Like, I remember when I first saw Phantom Ganon and Tears of the Kingdom, I, like, lost my shit. So, like, if, like, they have moments like that would be really cool for me to, like, sit down and, like, talk to you guys about it. Got 2 more questions from Legend of Barhash. So the next question from Legend of Barhash is, what hobby other than video games do I enjoy doing in my free time? I used to draw a lot. I want to draw more. It's been a goal of mine to start trying to, like, make at least one piece of art a week, or work on, like, if I have like, just set down time once a week to actually, like, work on making something. Because I do really want to get back into it, and if you don't draw for a while, you lose it, and that happened to me. My artistic abilities got better and better throughout, like, middle school and high school, and then as a young adult, I kind of stopped drawing, and I can't draw as well as I used to. I used to make a lot of digital art with, like, my mouse in Microsoft Paint, and at first they were pretty bad, but I got pretty decent at it, and that was just for using a mouse. Now I have an iPad, and I'm gonna show some images of works that I've made on my iPad. But I mostly use the iPad for thumbnails now. I don't really draw on it too much, but the iPad does get used for the channel, so that's good. But that's a hobby that I do outside my free time. I also really like going on hikes with my dog Zinni Girl. We don't really do too many like crazy hikes around here, just like the local like national park. And when we go up to the Adirondacks in New York, we usually do some sort of high peak or one of the mountains up there, and she always loves it. She has a great time. She's a little mountain dog. I'm proud of her making it up as far as we have. We did Giant Mountain a couple years ago, and that was terrible. Like, I literally felt like my legs were gonna fall off. My legs have never been in so much pain before. We were coming down the mountain, and at one point I literally just said to Harry, I'm like, just leave me here. The sun's going down. I'm like, just leave me here. Let the animals eat me. I'm tired. My legs hurt. I like started to like lay down. But the next day, Zinni Girl was just like out. She was just chilling at the cabin all day. Harry and I went to the town inlet and we're walking around looking at the shops, but we left Zinni at home because we couldn't bring her in all the shops. Everybody else was still there. The rest of his family was there with her, so she wasn't all alone. But they told me she was a good girl. She just like slept the whole day. So Zinni Girl was worn out from Giant Mountain. Should have been called Death Mountain though, like honestly, because that's how it felt. Final question from Legend of Barhash. If I could live in one video game world for the rest of my life, which would I choose? I don't think anybody's gonna expect this, but Wii Sports Resort. Take me to Woohoo Island, dude. There'd be so much stuff to do. You can like do archery, you could go on the dog walks, the plane rides, the sword fighting, bowling, exploration. You'd never be bored. There'd always be something to do. And I mean, I feel like maybe after a while you'd be like, I don't want to do that anymore. But the weather's gorgeous there. It's always sunny. I love summer. I'm a summer girl. So I would just be in like all my glory there. Living on Woohoo Island. The reason I didn't say Hyrule is because I don't want to fight and worry about enemies. If it was Hyrule, it'd have to be like a peace era of Hyrule where there's literally like no issues. Like I can just walk around and do whatever I want and not have to worry about things coming and getting me. I like fighting things in my game, but not in real life. Alright, next question comes from Parzival555. If Hyrule was a reality, cheers to the kingdom, what town or village would I want to reside in? Not as Link, as me. So I'm not a badass like Link and I'm not fighting things, so me. Inquiring minds want to know. And then same for Skyrim. So for Zelda, probably either the Lost Woods or Lorelyn Village. It's too cold for Rito Village. I really like the vibe up there, but it's too cold for me. I hate the snow. There's not really much to do in Gerudo Desert, so I feel like I'd be really bored there. It is like the right climate though. Plus Lorelyn Village is the fishing village, so if you know, you know. I'd like Korok Forest though too, because it'd be so calm and peaceful and I really enjoy the nature in the woods. But I definitely like get bored just being there, so I'd have to like dip out and like go do stuff in Hyrule. Like I wouldn't want to just stay in the woods the whole time. In Skyrim though, I'd probably choose Riverwood. It's small, not much going on. I'm not a big city person. I don't like a ton of people. Like I said, I'm very tiny, easy to get lost, easy to get stolen. So I'd rather just stick to my my like country bumpkin roots. I definitely don't want to live in like Dawnstar or Windhelm. I was trying to think of something like not Whiterun. I know Riverwood's a pretty basic answer too though, but yeah, Dawnstar, Windhelm are like no-goes, and I don't think I would really like anywhere else, honestly. So Riverwood it is. This one comes from Patrick. Am I an NPC, supporting character, or main character on a hero's journey? I'd probably say I'm the supporting character. I don't take charge too often. I'm not really much of a leader, but I am there for others. So I could see me being like a decent part of a journey and helping the hero along, being there for like the moral support, carrying his luggage, giving him the pep talks, but definitely more of a Sam than a Frodo, so there's that. Another question from Patrick. What do I want my story to be? This was another question that I was really hung up on for a while because the shit is deep. I guess I would want my story to be that, like, I'm the person who wants to bring joy and laughter into people's lives. I really like making jokes, making people laugh. It's I live for it. I want to be known for being irreverent, comical, outlandish, and positive. I will definitely address negatives, but I really don't like dwelling on negative things because it just degrades my mental health and I can't handle that anymore. So I try to stay very positive. I want to keep positive vibes for other people. I want to be someone who is there to listen. I may not have great advice, but I'm always good to just like absorb and listen to people as a support person. So if you ever need anybody, I'm there for you, dude. Appreciate you. Alright. Next question comes from Tabby Cat Games. As a kid, did I ever think my love of gaming would lead to streaming? Kind of. I don't think I really knew what streaming was when I was a kid, but I really wanted to do like a speedrun type thing of Twilight Princess because it was so beloved to me. I knew I wanted to like be online, like have an online presence around Twilight Princess. I know I only like did a one sitting stream of it, really. I haven't really done too much else with it. We did do a few other like side streams where I was getting the like 100%ing the game, getting the rest of the heart pieces, doing the other quests that I missed. I don't think I found all the bugs during the live stream either, like the entire playthrough live stream. So I think we might have did that too. But I didn't want to do anything with glitches or anything like that, and the speedrun time for Twilight Princess is insane. I don't think I will honestly ever be able to beat it. And there's a lot that goes into speedrunning. I didn't know that as a kid, but as a kid I was just like, man, I really want to like put this on the internet of me playing it and have people to hang out with. And so in a way, kind of. That's why I say kind of. I just didn't really know that it was technically like a big thing. I just knew about like Let's Plays and stuff like that. I didn't know about being live and recording, if that makes sense. Like I knew about pre-recorded things. When I was a kid though, I did want a career in gaming, but coding became a major headache for me. Every now and then I do kick myself for not chasing that dream, but I know I still can. I just need to work harder in order to achieve that. Maybe one day, but I do really enjoy streaming. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Alright. From Hmon, my favorite non-Nintendo franchise. I feel like it's too new for me to say Clair Obscur, even though I think anything Sandfall touches will be gold. Most likely, like, they will probably make an incredible story. Low-key would be sick if they did some kind of Zelda spin-off. I doubt that they would be, not that they wouldn't be open to it, but I feel like they would want to use their time to make their own creations and use their own freedoms. But if they made some kind of like turn-based Zelda like spin-off game, that would be fucking sick, I won't lie. But since it's a little too new, I'm gonna give a different answer, or like a second answer to that, which would be Tomb Raider. I haven't played all of the games, but I've played some of the older ones like Underworld, Legend, I think one other one, and then I played the 3 newer ones, like the Tomb Raider I call it the survival one, the 2013 reboot one, because you basically feel like you're surviving the whole time because you get abandoned on that island. Or, not abandoned, you get stranded, rather. And then played Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider on stream. Love those games, even though Shadow got a little creepy sometimes, but Tomb Raider is great. If you haven't played Tomb Raider, highly recommend you check them out. Doesn't really matter where you start, just start with one of them. Whatever one looks the most interesting to you, that's what I would say. I'm super stoked for the next 2 coming out too, by the way. They look more like the older classical styles, so I mean, I like both. I like the newer ones, but I also like the older one, like the Underworld. Underworld was one of my faves. This question comes from Pokemon Fan 34. Have I ever met any famous voice actors or content creators at cons or events? Unfortunately, I have not, but maybe one day. Maybe one day. I did go to New York City Comic Con before, but there wasn't anyone there that I knew or that I had interest in getting like an autograph from or anything like that. I plan to go to more events in the future, so hopefully maybe I'll get to meet somebody. Love to meet the Nintendo crew in person, so, you know. Just saying. No, but maybe one day. Maybe one day. As of now, no, though, unfortunately. This question comes from Time Lord / Northman. Who would play me in a film about my life? Maybe Aubrey Plaza, and I know you're the one that suggested that like months ago before, but I feel like she kind of like matches my energy, like you said. But I honestly don't feel like my life is really that interesting or worth making a film about it, if I'm being honest. So I couldn't really think of anybody else. I'd have to like really deep dive into it, but I feel like Aubrey Plaza matches my energy, and we kind of, I don't think we look exactly the same, but we look like close enough that I think the resemblance would be good enough. Alright, now next question comes from Thomas Gardner. If I can remember, what was the first video game I ever played? So, I have a first video game memory, which is my dad playing Ocarina of Time. But the actual first game that I can, like, remember that I played was Tak and the Power of Juju back on PS2. It's also on GameCube and Xbox, I believe. I know it's on GameCube because I ended up buying it on GameCube as an adult because I wanted to revisit it.
Oh, no, this is all wrong. This isn't in the Poopanoo People's Prophecy.
I did play like a few slop games or like non-adventure focused games, but Tak was like the main biggest memory for me. Tak was a big part of my childhood. He was the precursor to the Zelda era, and then I revisited him a few times. A few of the slop games though that I played was like this Barbie horse game, which low-key, from what I can remember, was actually pretty good. Like, you had to go and rescue the horses, and you'd have to solve puzzles and collect things. And there was like a good adventuring amount to it. I feel like I kind of want to like revisit it just to see if it's like as good as I remembered as a kid. Granted, it's not a 10 out of 10 game, or would I recommend anybody here go play it right now, but it was fun for what it was when I was a kid. And yeah, so that was a slap game I played. A few other slap games that I played was Madagascar, Over the Hedge, and Monsters Inc. Yeah, the Madagascar and Over the Hedge ones were on... yeah, those were on PS2, and then Monsters Inc. I played on PS1. So they were like the movie-based games, and I think they make them a little bit now still, like around this day, but I feel like it was way more popular back then, and some of them weren't very good, but those ones I actually remember having a lot of fun with. And then one other game, it's not a slop game, but I have fond memories of Crash Bandicoot Warped because my grandfather had a PS1. That's where I also got the Monsters Inc. game from. But he had that there, so when I would go visit him, sometimes I'd be like, hey, can I go play your PlayStation? He'd be like, yeah, go ahead. So I would be playing Crash Bandicoot Warped. I couldn't get very far, and I wasn't very good at it, but I like specifically remember the lava level with the dinosaur chasing you. There's the other level with like the magic carpet. There's the one where you're like riding a goat over like the Great Wall of China or something like that. So that game was really good. If you haven't played that, highly recommend that one. You can get that in the Insane Trilogy. Yeah, in the Insane Trilogy that's out on Switch, PS4/5, and then one of the Xboxes. I get confused with the Xboxes. Everything's an Xbox. So look up your respected console. Next question. What are my hopes and dreams for the next major Zelda game, thematically or gameplay-wise? From Gamebird Classic. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you supporting with some questions. I really want underwater exploration. We were talking about this the other day in the live stream. I know that I should have had this out before then, but like that underwater Atlantis or some kind of dungeon ruins, maybe even like an actual civilization where there's some sort of either new race or like Zoras down there. That would be really cool to see. Better dungeons. They got better in Tears of the Kingdom from Breath of the Wild, and I think they're just gonna get even better. Maybe even more than 4, depending how big the game is, especially if they don't have shrines. Shrines aren't gonna make or break for me as long as they're fun and that it doesn't take away from the dungeons. Like, if they cut content from dungeons for shrines, that I wouldn't like. But the shrines were fun. They were cute little mini dungeons, basically. So I wouldn't mind that necessarily. I want a kick-ass companion character. We've been traveling Hyrule alone these last 2 games. Like, bring back a Midna, even a Navi or a Tattle. King of Red Lions, you know, we got so many cool companions. I'd love to have a companion come back with us. Even if it's just somebody we check in frequently, as long as it's to a point where it's not, like, annoying, like, cough, cough, Miles, cough, cough. No, he really wasn't too bad, but having to go all the way back there and going through a couple cutscenes, that was a little much. So, if it's somebody that's just, like, very important to the story that we're engaging with very frequently, and not like a Kilton type situation, something like a little more than that, I would really like that to make a return. I would like items with a purpose. So, like a claw shot, a hook shot type item, bring back the spinner, maybe like a hoverboard, like just something that would serve purpose but not really take away from exploration. It would add to it. They're most likely going to keep it open world, so I would just like it Like, I want the items back in some sort of way, basically. I want them back. No more memories. No more memories. Stop with the memories. Stop with the memories. If they're there, it is what it is. As long as the story is, like, taking place in current times. Like, I really don't want to relive the memories through someone else or, like, my past. I really want the story to, like, take place in the present of what's happening. Flashbacks are totally fine. Like, Ocarina of Time, there were a few flashbacks. I wouldn't mind that, but I want the story to be taking place in, like, the current time and, like, feeling like it. No more breakable weapons. Unless they do a thing where they can repair the weapons, or, like, do something to add durability, because I suffer the same thing that you and a lot of other people do, is we hang on to, like, our really, really good weapons, and then we end up actually just never using them, because we never end up feeling like we're in a situation where it's like, yeah, okay, I'll use my 120 damage Lionel sword now. No. So, underwater exploration, better dungeons, kick-ass companion character, items with a purpose, no more memories, no breakable weapons, or at least make it a little better, tweak the system some so that it's at least somewhat enjoyable, and a story that takes place in the present. Next question, also from Gamebird Classic. What is my favorite part of doing YouTube? Talking with the viewers. Like, I love just chatting. If I was just streaming, like, back up. When I do pre-recorded videos, it's okay, but it's not as fun because I don't have the chat there to, like, engage with, and I really enjoy engaging with the chat, whether it's even related to the game I'm playing, or it's literally like, what's everybody eating for dinner? I just love feeling like we're all hanging out, doing our own thing, whether people are just, like, watching, they're lurking, they're watching but also doing something else, they're just listening but doing something else, etc. Like, I just really like that it feels like a vibe, like we're all just hanging out. It's also helping me, like, attack my backlog, especially on some of the indie games, more so when I was doing Sunday streams, because the Sunday streams were dedicated to indies, because a lot of them don't take too long. Like, I can play them in, like, 3 to 8 hours usually, so I like to just sit down, bust through the game real quick and be done with it, check it off the list, cross it off the list, another one down, another one bites the dust. But I also like streaming because it allows me to revisit some games that I have played, and then sometimes I discover things about the game that I didn't know, whether it was someone in the chat or, like, I notice it myself, where I'm like, oh my god, I never saw that. Like, when I'm playing through Skyrim now, there are a few things that I didn't get to on my initial, not necessarily initial, but my initial, like, full run of the game that I might have missed. So that's been really cool to, like, do, like, when those moments happen. But yeah, so talking with the viewers, attacking the backlog, revisiting past games. Those are my three favorite things about doing YouTube. Another question from Gamebird Classic. If I was on death row, what would my last meal be? I'm gonna insert a picture here. Insert picture here. Somewhere over here. This isn't my picture. I went online to try to find it. But there's this place, it's about a half hour from me. It's like an Italian restaurant, like deli type place. Market, if you will. But they have this sandwich. And this question was really easy for me to answer because I've already thought about it. As morbid as that is. But essentially, it's a Philly cheesesteak, but it's way better. And if you don't know, I do live in Pennsylvania, so cheesesteaks are very prevalent here. But I literally, like, went on the website and got everything that it was in so I could tell you guys what's in it. It's thinly sliced ribeye steak, fried onions, sauteed mushrooms, pecorino black truffle cheese on a seeded semolina roll. And dude, they packed that thing with meat. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, this is the sandwich. Like, there's, like, this much meat, like, coming out of it. Like, it's a little expensive, but it's worth every dollar. So if I was on death row, it would be that. Their pecorino truffle ribeye sandwich. So good. Now, this next question, I feel like I'm being set up because he's gonna make me admit to something. I feel like you're trying to get me to admit to something. But, final question from Gamebird Classic. Would I rather sweat green slime or fart blue smoke? Probably fart blue smoke. Just have to make sure I don't fart in front of anybody. I think that's all he wanted me to say. He just wanted me to say that I couldn't fart in front of anybody anymore. I'd have to, like, run and, like, just be like, unless nobody knew. Like, what if people were like, what the fuck is that blue smoke? As long as it didn't smell. You'd just be like, what's the blue smoke all about? It'd be really confusing. But I feel like the green slime would, like, stain your clothes, or people would just be like, oh. So with the blue fart, you could at least, like, run into, like, the bathroom or in a room nobody's in. Go lock yourself in the closet. But yeah, I think Gamer just wanted me to admit about like having to not fart in front of people. You're welcome, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for having me admit that publicly. Alright, this question's from Turptime, aka JG. What's a game I thought I would like but didn't? What's a game I didn't expect to like but I did? So I thought I would like Xenoblade. Xenoblade's kind of like mixed because it was like I thought I would but I thought I wouldn't. So that's kind of like a little in between. But I love anime. I just couldn't really get back into it. The combat was like okay, but I just feel like I might have just been too overwhelmed with like the side quests and I just couldn't really like get into the world. You know, like with Clair Obscur Expedition 33, the first like 30 minutes I was playing it, I wasn't quite so sure, but by like the hour mark, I was crying and I'm like, I'm already invested in these characters and I only known them for like an hour. So certain games just hook me with the characters and the storytelling. Xenoblade just couldn't do it. I wouldn't mind like trying it again or maybe seeing somebody else play through it to understand the story and maybe I would like it because I know a few people that had gotten into it more recently and they seemed to really like it. I just couldn't really get too into it. But a game I didn't expect to like and did is probably Metroid. I avoided it for years because I'm not like into outer space or sci-fi type stuff. Like I liked Star Wars a little bit as a kid, but that was about it. Like I'm not a sci-fi person. I'm more of a fantasy person, if I had to choose a side. And I wasn't also really big into first-person games. I'm getting into them a little more now, but back then I really didn't like that type of style. I really liked to see my character and being in a third-person type of format for my games. But I am really glad I tried out Metroid Prime 4 because it is really good, and if you're also somebody that doesn't like sci-fi stuff or space or aliens or anything, but you love Zelda, you give it a try. I promise, give it a try. Because as Andres Restart likes to say, it's basically like Space Zelda, and he's not wrong. It's very much like a Space Zelda. It's like a puzzle. You get roadblocked, which I love. I'm a sucker and I love roadblocks in games. I don't know why. Don't ask. I just like it. I like going to an area, seeing something that I don't have the item for yet, and then having to like revisit it. Sometimes I forget exactly where that area is at, and that part does kind of suck. But I do like being like, once you get that, being like, I have the power bomb now. I can go blow this thing up that I couldn't blow up before or something like that. And I really enjoyed Prime 4. I only had like a few minor like gripes with it, but I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it more appealing to other people. So I'm not mad about Prime 4. I'm just a little sad it didn't sell as well as a lot of us wanted to. But I enjoyed it for what it was. I really hope 2 and 3 come over somehow, whether it's GameCube and Wii NSO or like a simple port or they remaster it like Prime 1. I don't really care at this point. I just really want to be able to play it, and I hope we get a Prime 5 because the story felt really unfinished by the end of 4 without like getting too spoilery. I just hope that the sales don't deter Nintendo from from funding another Prime game. I don't know that it will, but there's always like that slight like worry, like, well, maybe they won't think it's worth revisiting, but I really hope that they do. Another question from JG: what video game universes would I like to see have a crossover? So this was one that I had to kind of really think about, but I'm going with Tomb Raider and The Legend of Zelda, so hear me out, because I know they kind of play a little similar with like the dungeon crawling aspect and like the puzzle solving, but Lara Croft is like a history nerd, right? Basically. She's finding like historical ruins and artifacts and things having to do with like history or of that nature, and you get like a lot of background. So imagine like Lara Croft going into like some Hylian, Zonai, Gerudo, Goron, Rito, etc. type ruins, giving us lore drops, like finding stuff from like the Zelda games, like finding like an old decrepit like Temple of Time and like maybe like the spiritual stones like kind of like really like faded or like cracked or something, just something like that as like an example, and then given like more backstory on it would be really cool. Now obviously I would prefer it to just be Link and have it be like a weird spin-off Zelda game, but I love Lara Croft. It would just be really cool just being like a fan service game, kind of like how the first Hyrule Warriors was, but it would be Lara Croft as the protagonist instead. I just think that would like cross over pretty nicely and wouldn't be too jarring. Maybe like a little bit, it might be a little weird, but I want that game either way, because it would be really cool to just have like a fan service game with the Nintendo putting like the lore in it, even if a third party makes it. But yeah, that's my crossover. Tomb Raider x Zelda. Final question from JG. If I had to be on a game show, which show would I pick? I had to ask Harry this one. I'm like, what do you think I would be on? Because honestly, don't really watch too many game shows, but we both agreed that The Price is Right, probably, just because I buy a lot of shit. And I could probably guess prices pretty well. I like Family Feud, but the idea of doing Family Feud doesn't sound fun to me. I like watching Family Feud though, but I don't think I would have fun actually doing Family Feud. I'm not great at trivia, and while I love Jeopardy, like, there's your answer. If I'm not good at trivia, I'm probably not gonna be good at Jeopardy, or anything like that, so I would rule out Jeopardy, even though I like it. So yeah, Price is Right. And those are all the questions, you guys. Sorry it took me so long to get this out. Sorry that it's a bit chunky. Sorry I got a little rambly. I'm still new to, like, this, me sitting at the desk and talking to you guys. I'm still used to the streaming and the hanging out vibe. I'm not so used to sitting and just, like, spilling my thoughts. But yeah, you guys, let me know how you liked it. If you didn't like it, that's cool too. Maybe I'll do this like once a year or something. This was to celebrate 2 years of streaming, even though it's a month and then some late, because like I said, I've had a lot going on with like work and then the channel stuff. We hit 500 subscribers, and then we also, like, we're 2 years of streaming at the same time, and then I have all this like other like life stuff going on, people visiting, etc, etc. I'll stop rambling. I appreciate you guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you like my answers. If I didn't elaborate enough, let me know. I'll try to elaborate more in like a live stream or something, or in the comments. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next stream or in the next video. You guys, appreciate you. Have a good one. I'm tired.